What's up, family? Welcome to the Mental Game Podcast, man. Solo dolo today, but I got my boy Butch over here. Y'all see Butch? I think yeah, y'all can see him. Hey, man, today let's touch on time. That's our topic of the day, time, man. And we'll talk about time, how important it is when we get back. Life's a mental game. You need the right mentality to survive. What's up, family? How y'all doing, man? I know it's been a week in between shows, but had to take some time off. Was a lot busy. Had a lot of things going on. Uh, I believe it was my nephew's birthday, and we attended his birthday party and celebrated with him. I'm trying to check my calendar right now so I can really make sure that's what it was. But I know whatever it was, I just got a little too busy to do the podcast. I had a lot of things going on. But happy birthday, Trey. Um, that's my mini me. That's my sister's child, my youngest sister's child. And funny fact that he came out looking just like me. So that's why I call him my mini me. He's my little twin. And happy birthday to him. He turned 9 going on 99. He a little old man. And Aliana's trying to text me right now. Hold on, y'all. What do you want? I'm trying to do the podcast. I'm doing the podcast right now. Look, people, see my child? Yeah, she's disturbing me doing the podcast with her pretty self. No, I got a question. What's your question? Ask it live on the podcast. Strawberry shortcake or banana pudding? But no, man, that's a good one. Hey, y'all put in the comments, man. Look, would y'all choose strawberry shortcake or banana pudding? I think I'm gonna choose. Let me see. Um, I want banana pudding. I want the vanilla wafers in it too. Okay. Say bye bye to the people on my podcast. She said she don't have vanilla wafers. Well, I want the strawberry. All right, strawberry shortcake then. Strawberry shortcake. When she started making with graham crackers. Say bye to the people. No. Oh man. All right. Bye. Bye. My little baby disturbing me on the podcast. She's over there with her grandmother. I gotta go pick her up later on today. Um, but I want March birthdays. I know when I started running off birthdays, I forgot about one other important person in my life. I forgot my big brother Marcus. His birthday is what is it? March 26th. I always get him and his wife confused because uh she's the 25th and he's the 26th. So they've been together so long and so intertwined and things like that. Sometimes I'm thinking her birthday's on the 26th when it's his. So, shout out to him. His birthday's coming up pretty soon. We got to figure out, I guess, what we're going to do for him. We probably go out to eat. That's what our family gets together and does. Um, but shout out to my brother Marcus. And everybody who's enjoying a birthday in March, man, happy birthday to you. You know what I'm saying? You watch my podcast, I appreciate you. And I appreciate you taking out the time to do that, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, I want to continue to say happy you year. Happy new year, happy you year. You know what I'm saying? Make this a year of you, but don't be selfish. Be self preserving in all your efforts and things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'm trying to constantly reach more and more and more people with my content, and more content is coming. I have a plan to get more involved in, I guess, the social world because I'm not really like a social media type person. I only post like important events and stuff like that. But now that I run a business and I need to be more involved, and people need to see me, I guess, more on a regular basis. So that is coming. You know what I'm saying? Also, my content has kind of taken a decline. My hard drive that I use for all of my mental game, whatever, is on injured reserve right now. I don't know if I dropped it. Uh, I don't know if somebody sat on it. or what the case was, but I was editing my podcast one day or trying to make an edit. Um, try to run a sale, and I got all my PNGs and stuff like that on this flash drive or hard drive, and I plugged it into my computer and didn't recognize anything. So I went to plug it in my laptop. It started making a buzzing noise, like a beeping buzzing noise. And I don't know if anybody that knows computers know that that's not a good thing for your hard drive. When your hard drive start, beeping and booping, that means something's going on inside, man. So right now, that's like a $700 fix. Your boy got it, but he don't got it. You know what I'm saying? That got to go towards other things and other uh possibilities. Now that I guess it's warmer now. We're going into the springtime, summertime. I'm, not gonna have that much more time, but um, I've dedicated some funds somewhere else to where I can finally do my own in-house uh things. So in the coming future, I would say in the coming like maybe 3, 4 weeks, month or two, um, y'all should see pop-up shops from Mental Game, posted anywhere and everywhere I can post it. You know, another thing with that, my store is upgoing some updates. So if anybody has gone on mentalgame.net and Shopify is giving it like a little message, this store is unavailable. It's just because the store is undergoing some updates. You know, what I'm saying some things of that sort. I'm adding stuff and taking stuff away, kind of revamping the website a little bit. You know, so that'll be up. Pretty soon. As soon as I'm done with everything that I feel I need to do. Uh the website will be up pretty soon. So y'all wait on that, man. And in other news, man, I sold my bike. Sold my other bike. I had two bikes. I was sitting on two bikes at one time. So I sold my old bike. I'm trying to put a video up somewhere on the screen somewhere. I sold my bike. I'm sad to see it go, man, because that was my first bike. But I sold it. And I believe I sold it to a good owner. And ironically, it's crazy because when I went to get that bike, I went with my good friend Don, and Don's a mechanic. He's been working with bikes for years, so he went with me, to check out the bike, make sure everything was good, and everybody knows my bike was kept garage kept, you know, pretty meticulously cared for, and it was a good bike. So it was kind of like and that was my first bike. It was the same situation with the guy I sold it to. It was his first bike. What I'm saying his older buddy encouraged him to get the bike, or what I'm saying, and he finally got it, and they got it, and they rode it way back up to Killeen, Texas. So safe travels to them. Pray they made it safe. It's a good transaction. I heard all these horror stories on Facebook of how don't get scammed, this, that, and other. You know what I'm saying? So when you making transactions like that, it's kind of nerve wracking, but it was a smooth transition. You know what I'm saying? They were good people. Uh, and yeah, that's all I got to say about that, man. I'm sad to see the bike go, but I'm glad it's going to a good place. Um, New goals and plans for the year, man. Just to continue to build on all of my opportunities that decide to show their face this year. It's been, not gonna lie to y'all, it's been very tough. These last, I would say these last couple months, it's been really, really, really trying times, man. And um, that's why I want to kind of touch on the topic of time. You know, uh, we have a long life. I believe we have a long life. That's my opinion. I know everybody's out here talking about life is short. You don't have a lot of time. I believe we have a lot of time, but I feel like we misuse the time, and we fill our lives with a lot of bullshit that takes valuable time that can be put other places. I feel like time can be better allocated, in my opinion. I feel like we have a long life if we live it right. You know, because I've had friends that have fallen, and what I'm saying, they just wasn't living right. You know, And that's it has a dual meaning. You know what I'm saying? You be living right, you be living a certain type of life, and that your life be cut short, or health wise, you could be living a certain type of life, and what I'm saying, your life be cut short. But I want to touch on time because I feel like a lot of time is wasted on things that um it shouldn't be. I watched the movie by Adam Sandler, and man, he does. I understand it. Like at first glance, that movie might seem kind of boring, but there's a lesson in it. Adam Sandler, he's pretty good with in these two particular movies, and there were two movies in two different generations. I would say the movie Click and the movie Spaceman that he just came out with. I don't want to give out the movie of Spaceman, but I believe everybody up until this point has seen Click. So if you haven't, you need to go watch it. You know what I'm saying? Stop my video, stop my podcast right now, go watch Click. And you know what I'm saying? If you want to watch Spaceman, then come back to me. But I ain't gonna talk about Spaceman because it's a still pretty new movie. But Click, uh he was chasing a dream, chasing a career. Kind of in both movies, he was doing the same thing, chasing the dream, chasing a career, a discovery, whatever you may have you. But um, he ends up like feeling like he didn't have time for these things, and you know he went out. Not I wouldn't say he went out searching for a way to better allocate his time, but he stumbled upon a guy, and this guy gave him a magic remote to where he can control time. You know, and he was able to fast forward time, maybe rewind time, pause time. Whatever you could do with a regular remote, you can do with time. And he ended up being a fast forward through certain situations and pause certain situations and whatever have you. But in all general synopsis of the movie, he ended up misusing, mismanaging, and wasting his time. And if anybody seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So that's why I want to talk about time. What I'm saying? We don't have a lot of it. Everybody needs it. Everybody's requesting your time, and everybody wants your time, or everybody wants time. You know, or whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? What is time, man? Time can be described as a season. A segment in your life, a part in history. You know, a measurement of events or a measurement of whatever. That's time. And like I said, we all feel like we don't have a lot of it, but in my opinion, I feel like it's misused. It's mismanaged in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But with all that saying, me talking about time, I want to say this right now, man. Make sure y'all liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I appreciate y'all for taking the time out to watch my podcast, to watch my shorts. Because all that's time. All that's time put aside to do something. I know there's a joke going on in my family, like when we watch something stupid or we see something stupid, like, "Wow, how long that was? 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes I'll never be able to get back." You know what I'm saying? I know it's been heard probably in movies, probably it's been said in other families and stuff like that, but that's a saying that goes. I'm like, that's 5 minutes I'll never get back. I'll never be able to replace that. You can't, what I'm saying, and but that's the truth to that, man. You can't give back. You can't give back time. You can't rewind time. You can't go back and redo things. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of when decisions are made, you gotta live with them. And everybody always says that mainly when loved ones are dead and gone, man. I just wish I can go back and answer this phone call. I wish I can go back and travel here to go see him. I wish I can do this. I wish I could do that. You know what I'm saying? When at what point will we sit back and realize that time is a very, very important commodity, the one of the most important commodities that we have, in this life, what I'm saying, is time. And a lot of us are out here, the way we make money nowadays, we trade time for money. You know what I'm saying, at $25 an hour, what, $28 an hour, $30 an hour, $9 an hour, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? We all out here trading time for money. And, there's a reason for that. I don't want to get into that. I'll probably, dive into chase that down into another rabbit hole. But um, I would say, use your time wisely, man. Use your time to uh spend time with your kids if you have kids, if you're that type of person that has kids. Spend time with your kids. Um, we all don't know how uh important that is until you sitting there looking at your teenager when you like Sam had the realization, the last podcast about, dang, my child's finna be in high school. Both our kids are about to be in high school, and it's like, man, you go back through these baby pictures, and I have a picture on my wall right now of me when we had like a daddy daughter photo shoot, and Aliana sitting on my back, and it's just crazy because I was here the whole time, from beginning to end, from birth, from conception, of course, from conception to birth to first steps, losing the first tooth, all that. I was there for everything. So, and looking at her now, you're like, dang, where has the time gone? And I was here for every waking moment of it, every waking moment of her upbringing. I was there. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about me. Me, I've always wanted to be a dad. So, what I'm saying, ladies, don't be harping on your men. What I'm saying, if they don't do this, they don't do that. Aside from that, that's a waste of time. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for bickering and all that other stuff. It's just a waste of time. But back to what I was saying. I've been here for every waking moment of my child, and I just feel like I'm like, now that she's older, now that she's a teenager, I feel like I missed so much. Because time. Life is long. We have a lot of time, but we misuse it, and it's just like I feel like all that time got away from me looking at her as going into her next phase of life, her next time period, young adulthood. And sometimes I wondered, like, man, did I do a good job? This, that, and the other. But she's a good kid. She goes through what every kid has gone through. I've gone through it. Her mom's gone through it. Our parents probably at one point in time have gone through it. Aunts, uncles, whatever. We've all gone through it. We've all gone through that period of time. But spend time with your kids, man, because they grow up fast. The it's like one minute you're looking at them, you know, not being able to do anything but lay down, and then they're crawling, and then boop, they're going to prom or whatever whatever the case is. They run around here asking for allowance, and you know texting you, checking you like, hey, you ain't send me my money, and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? So, spend time with your kids, man. I believe that's very important also because, aside from that last conversation we had on the podcast talking about, teachers in school, we are our kids' first teachers. Our kids, learn our mannerisms, they learn us, and they take bits and pieces from us as parents, and they go out with that in the world. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your child is out there protected. Make sure your child is out there, um, well versed in whatever it is, whatever knowledge they may need. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your kids are well looking after, man. Like, take your time and spend it with your kids because, they need you. They didn't ask to be here. And my suggestion is don't send them out here, don't send them out here naked and unprotected. Send them out here with some knowledge. Send them out here with some better concepts, better concepts of time. You know what I'm saying? That way they use their time wisely. And that way we start a trend going forward, everybody using their time wisely. You know what I'm saying? And I think we got that covered though. You know what I'm saying? Uh this can be what I'm saying, like I said, this could be a long life, you know what I'm saying? But it at certain times in your life when like you're going through things, it moves pretty fast. It's like I know a lot of times when I feel like life isn't going good, those are the times that last they feel like they last the longest, man. But then when you got times where, everything's good, you enjoying yourself, you're having fun, those times just go by so fast. And I believe that's, touching back on kids, I believe that's why, little childhood segments go by so fast because they're so, everything that they're doing is new. You've never seen it before. I don't care. You might have other similarities between kids, but no kid is the same. Every kid's always doing something different in their own way. Yeah, they might be doing the same thing, but it's all different. But when you have kids and they're young and they're fun and they're doing everything, that time just moves by so fast, man. All your high times, all they all just move by so fast. And we need to be better timekeepers and time managers going forward. You know, um, back to we trade our time for money. We're out here pretty much supporting somebody else's side hustle. While they're out there, they got time to do, you know, whatever it is, whatever it is that they like to do. You know what I'm saying? When we out here working for somebody, and I'm not dogging the people that have businesses because in a way, in a way, I guess you're helping the economy. You're stimulating money back into the world. You know what I'm saying? When you employ where you at, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole I touch on. I'll probably get one of my brothers on here to talk about that because I know they can better talk about as far as using as far as like what it is working for somebody. But uh, and a lot of us get in the way where we work a lot of overtime and we spend a lot of time away from our families, away from our hobbies, the things that we like to do. And some of us get caught in. One of my big things I'm on, now, I started vacationing maybe 4 years ago, and just imagine how much time I went before that where I didn't even take a trip. What I'm saying, I had vacations, but I didn't even take a trip, to even enjoy myself and reset and enjoy the time that I traded, for money. You know what I'm saying, and just better enjoy that. So, my advice for everybody is, you work a job, set a goal to at least go on one extravagant trip a year, even if you driving 4 hours away. Do something. Make sure that you working for this, big mogul or whatever. Make sure it's really worth the trade. The as far as trading the time for money. Um, I understand that there's a lot of people that you work these jobs and they don't really pay a lot, and some of us out here working two, three jobs. Some of us is working a job and then funneling money into this business that we have. You know what I'm saying? And we always out here, uh, some of us regret it in the end, but I understand some of us out here in dire straits, and we can't necessarily take vacation. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. What I'm saying, I commend you. Um, I advise people that's going through that, man. Like, we are we are our, we are our life's authors. We are managers of our time. Just like you got managers in warehouses, managers in places of business. You got general managers of department stores and stuff like that. We are the managers of our time, and we need to use it wisely. You know what I'm saying? Where you are is not necessarily where you need to be all the time. Especially if if it's not serving you. You know what I'm saying? Positively. If you got those goals and aspirations, you want to go here, you want to go there, you want to go to Dallas to go to Six Flags, you want to go to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, you want to go to Florida to go to Disney World. You want to go to Cali to go to Disney World. Whatever the case may be, you want to do things. You want to go to Cancun and go to a resort. You want to travel to across the globe somewhere, go on the other side of this free world that we have. Um, I advise you to manage your time and evaluate evaluate your pay. Evaluate, you know what I'm saying? Like, set a goal to where, okay, this is where I'm at, but this is where I want to be in so many years. This is what I want to be making. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be at this job if it's gonna keep paying me this. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I love about the age of disclosure that we in now. You can't just, like, in certain professions, you can't just pay people what you want to pay them. You got to pay them what they worth, and you got to pay them what they deserve. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like in the society, you're looking at how things are. I think the economy would be better served if everybody paid. Everybody was paid something they can live off of. And with that also being said, what I'm saying, I will say this. I'm not gonna go full on detail into it. I just feel like uh people in a certain economy should spend money in that economy and stop sending so much money outside of the economy. I'll say that. I will say that. And I'm gonna leave it there. Maybe another podcast will go into that. I got my homeboy Drew. I know he's got some stuff to say about that. So maybe I'll bring him on the podcast and we'll see what's gonna go on, man. But back to time, man. Um, I will say this. I lost beefing, there was a period in time where um I had a specific beef with my family. And, what I'm saying, I'll go ahead and say it, it's with my dad's side of the family. And it wasn't necessarily that I had beef with the rest of my family. Me and my dad had a strong little rift between us. You know what I'm saying? I had a type of dislikement for my dad, if that's even a word, dislikement. Don't steal my word, Webster. But I had a certain level of dislikement for my dad. Me and my dad had been through some things that, I haven't mentioned on the podcast, probably won't. If I do, I do when I'm comfortable. But we had a period of time where we didn't like each other, or I didn't like him, but he loved me, and you know, um, but in that beef, it caused me to miss a lot of time with that side of the family. Um, and we don't realize how much time we got until somebody's gone. I missed out on precious moments with my grandmother and my grandfather, my nana and my papa. I missed out on very, very valuable years. Uh, a lot of very valuable time with them. I was a grown up, grown with a child. I think I want to say she was at least 3 years old. Um, when I first reconnected with that side of the family and started talking to that side of the family. Now I'm a grown up. I left New Orleans in 2015 2005 when the hurricane happened. 2015. I wonder what happened in 2015 that had me thinking 2015. But I left New Orleans in 2005 when the hurricane happened. And and I think in 2006 I kind of, I went through that phase where there was a big rift in the family and I lost contact with that side of the family. I didn't talk to them. I was angry at, you know, I felt like I was angry at everybody for what one person did. And, it's all cool now. It's all forgiven. It's all water in the bridge. You know what I'm saying? I love my dad. I love all my family. Um, but we don't realize, man, like, that's another time management thing that I think all of us need to work on, man. I feel like time is too important and too serious to be sitting up here and be beefed up with people. You know what I'm saying? For uh, maybe one person's uh whatever. I can't find the word for it, but time is too important. You know what I'm saying? If you got an issue with somebody, work that out, man. I don't care what it is. I mean, there's people in my life that I have a high dislike for, and I probably never talk to again. But at least it's understood. You know what I'm saying? I know I could be a contradicting person sometimes because there's people in this world, currently that I don't like, and I'll never talk to, and I don't want the guy in me doesn't want people to necessarily be involved with because I feel like, you know, certain people is uh I don't want to say like certain people is just bad for you. Um, but I have decided going forward in 2024, I'm not gonna sit there and waste time being mad at this person because they connected to these people. Then I'm not gonna talk to these people. I really don't have time for beef. I really don't have time for just being disgruntled. What I'm working on going forward into 2024 is just moving forward. Continue to move forward. Like, yeah, that happened. Y'all know it happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm upset, but I'm moving on. And I'm gonna move on in a positive way. Um, but yeah, that's my concept, and that's what I feel about time. I wasn't gonna hold y'all too long. This is a solo podcast. I didn't have my co-host today. He out running errands today. Yesterday, he's probably tired too because he had to run to Dallas yesterday. Well, Waxahachie for a funeral. So y'all pray for Sam. You know what I'm saying? But like we talked about on the last podcast, wish my boy well, man. He's been going through it. You know what I'm saying? I think we've both been going through it. We've all been going through it. And that's another thing we all need to understand. We all out here going through something. And instead of, focusing on our differences, we need to be motivating each other to be better. And let's stop paying for the sins of our fathers and the sins of uh past wrongdoings and so on and so forth, man. Let's be better than that's the goal in life. The goal in life should always be better than you were before. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be in competition with each other. We should be in competition with our past selves. You know what I'm saying? And just build on that, man. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got, man. Y'all just remember, man, that y'all current situation is not your final destination. You know what I'm saying? Your heart is still ticking and you're still kicking, man. You're above ground. Any day above ground is a good day. So, y'all remember to always be focused and never be foolish. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching, man. I'll see y'all again next time. Next podcast.